And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with part 2 of the viewers' favorite songs of all time. Where we left off, we listened to Cygnus Vismund Cygnus by the Mars Volta. I'm excited to see what other tracks we get into. Let's continue. Map of the Problematique by Muse. Most of the time, whenever I fell in love with a new band, it changed to a song by that new band, but weeks later it could change back to Map of the Problematique. Wait, what? Oh, so you're saying that, like, okay, so whenever you discover a new band, you find yourself loving a song by them, but then it changes back to the song. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Muse is an interesting one. Muse is one of those, like, hit and miss bands that miss most of the time, but when they hit, the songs are, like, fucking incredible. So I'm interested to see what this one's like. This is on Black Holes and Revelations? Is that what this album is? Solid start. This is the first song of the bunch that I am actively disliking. I really, really don't like this instrumental at all. These electronics are just so tacky. They have aged absolutely fucking horribly. Muse, more like snooze, exactly. Like, listen, I'm not a Muse hater across the board like a lot of people. I think that Muse genuinely do have, like, a lot to offer in some of their best music. Like, I think Origin of Symmetry is a great album. Plug-in Baby is one of, like, my favorite, like, rock hits of the 2000s. It sounds like shit. These electronics have not aged well. They just feel so shoehorned. Like, the band didn't know how to make this instrumental epic, so they just have all of these, like, very wavy sounding ass synths that just don't, like, they don't click or mesh at all. I'm gonna give the rest of the song a try, but this is starting. Ooh. Sounds very compressed. Yeah. Can a remix fix this? Probably not. I'm going to say I respectfully disagree. I do not fuck with this song in the slightest. These electronics have aged horribly. This mix is compressed to all hell. I think that Matt Bellamy's vocal performance here is way too over the top. I get that he likes to go for a Tom York thing, and he likes to do all of this, like, wailing and crooning over these songs, but, like, it's too forced. This instrumental and this song on the whole just feels very just tacked together. None of it feels like it comes in any synergistic or cohesive way at all, and I just find this track overall to be incredibly corny. Now, if I compare it to another good Muse song, they blend, like, the electronics with the rock way better on this song. This song's fucking amazing. Great explosive chorus as well. It sounds nothing like Radiohead. Look, I get Matt Bellamy sounds like Tom York sometimes. This song sounds fucking nothing like Radiohead. Plug-in Baby by Muse does not, in the slightest, even a little bit, sound like Radiohead. I get it. The joke is that Matt Bellamy sounds like Tom York. This does not sound like a Radiohead song at all. The song's fucking amazing. Yeah, this song's like a high 9, whereas that other song I would give like a 4. Light My Fire by The Doors. This song changed my life. Full stop. Please react to this. Well, I have reacted to this whole ass album, so I'm not going to play this song here, but I have to say, I completely agree that this track is a strong contender. This is one of the most iconic 60s tracks, one of the best produced 60s songs that I've ever heard. Just an absolute masterclass in doing something that's darker, spacier, doing something that is honestly, like, semi-gothic in its presentation. And I absolutely adore the way this track is able to be so simplistic but so catchy. It's so sticky. Like, this song does such a great job at just drilling itself into your head and not letting go at all. Like, this song is one of the most memorable 60s tracks I've ever heard. A great pick. I'm not going to play it here because I've already heard it and we've been streaming for a long time at this point. But yes, I would absolutely agree with this. Here is an example of a comment that is going to be skipped because I said pick one. Just choose one at random if you weren't able to pick one singular favorite. I'm not listening to 3 songs. Unlucky, you lose. Real Life Evolution 2 by the Cinematic Orchestra is my favorite for now. This track came to me in a very difficult time and touched me to tears instantly because of the mood, the timbres, and the beautiful and unique harmony it has. It also was a breath of fresh air from the things I was listening to at the time. It really took me in a new direction, and I'm still wondering to this day. I'm going to guess this is it, because it says Evolution 2. Ooh. Love how hypnotic that loop is, man. Like, it's just so serene. Ooh. Put Lil Sims on this beat? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to cut the song there because I feel like it's going to be just a lot of repetition beyond that point, but this is fucking phenomenal. Wow. Yeah. Great loopy instrumental. I love just how I don't know, cold and desolate the world being built here feels, despite the colors and the textures of this track being as varied as they are. The very pingy drums, the super soft kind of I don't know, blanketed cozy feeling that the strings provide throughout this track, or how chunky and round that bass feels. Everything feels like it should be countering or counteracting and counterbalancing each other, but it all feels like it comes together in a way that it's just so satisfying. Like, all of these parts that should not work together create something that has a certain sense of synchronicity, that has a certain sense of ironic synergy that makes this track feel like such a beautiful experience. I am shocked at how well all the pieces come together on this track. Does that sentence make sense? I'm surprised at how well all of these pieces come together on this track. Yeah. Jesus Christ, my ability to speak is going out the window. We've been going for like 2.5, 3 hours at this point. It's been a lot of blabbering about a lot of songs, and I have to say it's been mostly heaters. I've been loving these picks so far, and this is another fantastic one. I would give this a high 8 to a flat 9. Good shit. Walking across the sitting room, I turn the telly. Supper's Ready by Genesis, rising beyond the limits of the world and stepping into the true journey of your existence. Along the way, you're met with countless celestial and unforgettable moments. Every section of this 23-minute suite shows more creativity than the entire output of many bands, and then the final moment takes the music to a whole new level. How did they make this? How did they make this? This is my all-time favorite song, and no other song comes close to its brilliance. IMO. That is high praise. Oh, it's this song. I remember this. Hello, babe, with your guardian eyes so blue. Move across the lawn slowly. The seventh walks in front. With water clear, he cares for his harvest. This song is great so far, but I have to say I'm not as invested as I was when I first heard it. Like, it sounds great, it's an incredible prog song on its own, but I have to say I'm not as invested in the lyrical content, or really in like the full 23-minute runtime of it this time. Like, it's not done much to say like why it should be 23 minutes so far. Right, I'm going to pause it here because we're at the 7-minute point at this point. That song still sounds great. I will say the song still does sound fantastic, just as a prog track that is legitimately epic, that has quite the immense progression within these first 7 minutes. The track truly does feel like it's fully transformed from what we started with up to this point. And I remember it goes through some pretty wild changes throughout the course of the rest of the track. I didn't feel as invested this time around, though. I just found myself move into this song, getting lost in the atmosphere, but not fully being like mind blown at how insane the technical proficiency of these parts are, about how incredible the writing on this track is, or anything like that. I think the performances are great, though. I think the structuring of this track is fantastic. I think the pacing is pretty great too. But I just didn't find myself being fully locked in this time. It's for that reason that it gets a high 8 instead of the 10 that I probably gave this thing before. But I don't know, maybe listening to the entire song unbroken would make this song grow on me again. Because again, I only taste tested the first 7 minutes here, the first third of the track. And maybe the rest of the song is the missing ingredient for me to realize, oh wait, no, this is like the most genius shit ever. Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones. I love it so much, and it has such a powerful effect on me. It's pure, unfiltered rage, and that voice crack is a top 10 music moment right there. Okay, top 10 music moment. We gotta listen out for a great voice crack on this song. Possible I was sent it in on stream at some point, but I don't remember this. Ooh. Actually. I'm not too crazy on the switch up. This song's been solid so far, but I've not been absolutely head over heels for it, you know? Okay, quite the vocal performance though, wow. I am not in love with this song. It's good. It's like a high 7 for me. Maybe a flat 8. But I've not been absolutely head over heels for this shit. I can't lie. This song, it's solid. Got some great performances. But I have to say, the songwriting and structure does run a little boring for me. I feel like this track really does take a little too much time getting its information across. And at points can leave me feeling a little bit like, okay, where is this going? What's going to be the big reveal of this track? And then it kind of just doesn't really do much. I think that solo instrumental section where the harmonica came in was incredibly lackluster. I think that the actual lyrics on this track have been, at points, incredibly striking. Like here, I think this switch up where it says rape murder is just a shot away. What is genuinely an incredibly striking line that gives way to a great verse in general. But a lot of this track has just kind of come across as, I don't know, a little thin in that regard. I didn't love this track, but I did definitely enjoy it. Not my favorite Rolling Stones song I've heard by any stretch of the imagination, though. It's a high 7 to maybe... No, it's a high 7. High 7. It's good. I just personally didn't find it to be great. Mama, we all go to hell. Ooh, W pick. Lots to choose from, but I'll have to go with Mama by My Chemical Romance. The theatrics mixed with the disturbing imagery of war is just so good, and that breakdown towards the middle always gets me floored. Absolutely. W pick. I would say my favorite from the Black Parade up to this point would be Sleep. Mama used to be my favorite song, and like one of my favorite songs of all time. I'd say Sleep takes the cake for me now in terms of this album, but Mama is like a close second. Song is amazing. Oh, well, now, Mama. We're all full of lies. My mother was the one into my legs and to my tongue. Now, I my interpretation of what this song means has gone all over the place in the many times that I've listened to this album. I have listened to this album upwards of probably 50 times, and I still love it. Maybe not just as much as I used to. This album has shrunk on me a little bit over time, but I still absolutely adore this track, and this album on the whole. I have no fucking idea what this song means. Obviously, this letter is being written in an active war zone, and it's kind of a flash to the past while he was at war. But there's a character in the Black Parade lore that is called Mother War. But he also could be talking to his mother, where it's been very evident that he's had a strained relationship with his mother throughout this. So I have no fucking idea who this letter is to. I don't know if it's to the character of Mother War, or if it's actually to his mother, or if this is like after he's dead and it's kind of a retrospective of his life through the perspective of Mother War and how she saw those events in his life. I've got no idea what this song means. Absolutely no idea. But it sounds amazing, and that's all I care about. What if his mother is Mother War? No, Mother War is more of like Mother War is more of like a godlike figure in my understanding of it. Like, there are a handful of characters that like greet you when you die that are a part of the Black Parade, as shown in the Black Parade music video. And Mother War is one of the characters. It's like the lady that's wearing the oxygen mask. Like, one of the most unforgettable experiences listening to music was my first time hearing that. One of the most unforgettable experiences ever. Like, I remember exactly what it was like hearing that breakdown for the first time. One of the best moments in music, in my opinion. Just such a crazy, chaotic outburst of rage. It is wild. Yeah, the song's an easy 10. Like I personally prefer Sleep, but this was my favorite on this album for a very, very long time, until just recently, actually, when I decided that I preferred Sleep over this track. But yeah, this song is immaculate, spotless. Such a great example of how to do theatrics in a way that isn't corny, in a way that isn't too over the top, in a way that doesn't come across as fake or vapid. All of the emotions, all of the rage, especially when listening to how we get to this moment in like the album up to this point, everything just feels so authentic and surprisingly grounded for a song as bombastic and theatric as this. It feels so real and so tangible. This guy that is either already dead or is about to die, just letting out all of his, reaching a point of becoming such a horrible person that he's letting it all out on his mother. That's the way I personally read this track, is that maybe his mother forced him to enlist in the army. This is like him reading off a letter that he wrote to his mother, and the song ends with this massive outburst at her as he is literally about to die on Sleep, which is the way I read the album. And it's just one last massive fuck you to his mother for essentially ruining his life and giving him like PTSD and shit for forcing him to enlist in the army. This song is nasty, song is cruel, but it's also such an epic statement and an incredible piece of the puzzle in terms of this album. Amazing shit. It's a 10 for me. And in fact, since I didn't play my Weird Fishes pick, since I didn't play that, I'm actually going to choose another pick as an honorable mention for one of my favorite songs of all time. I'm going to play Sleep. Because Mama and Sleep back-to-back is crazy. And with Cancer as well, it makes an incredible 3-track run. This song honestly could have made it into my top 10. It's close. It's top 15 at least. This song perfectly encapsulates both why I think The Black Parade is one of the best pop-punk albums of all time, but also my biggest problem with it. This song should have been the closer. This should have been a tight 10-track album with Teenagers as a bonus track. This song is such a perfect culmination of everything you're presented on this album. It opens with the End and Dead seeing the experience of someone else in this hospital dying, and kind of the fear setting in our protagonist's eyes as like, holy shit, I'm going to be joining that guy soon. And then you get the strained relationships, the alcoholism, the abuse he's received from his mother, the reflection, all of the regret, everything across all of these songs. And as he has soured every relationship, as he has made everyone hate him and he's turned into this absolute monster, he is left to die alone with no remorse for his actions on Sleep. This should be how the album ends. On just the most dour note possible of just this guy has ruined everything for himself and now he's left to die by himself. And then the album just keeps going. And forces this fucking happy ending with famous last words. I really, really wish the album ended at Sleep, because it would probably be my favorite album closer of all time if it did. Like, you get the moment where this guy finally dies, just telling himself, just sleep, let it be over and done with, and then all of the regret that's built up across the album seeps in, and this desperate plea to keep going and fix all of the mistakes he made, only for, at the end, this recording of himself being so disappointed, and it sounds like literally that just off in the distance, seeing the Black Parade coming towards him as this guy passes on. It's haunting. It's so haunting. Like, literally, just it gives me like tingles up my back just thinking about how monumental and epic of a closer this would be to this album. How ballsy of a move it would be to end an album on such a fucked and dour note as this. And then it just keeps going, man. Like, they force this happy ending with famous last words where it's like, even from beyond the grave, I will keep going and make myself a better person. And it's like, just fuck off. The album should end here. This is such a fucking wet fart of a way to end off an album with these 3 tracks. Even if I do enjoy the songs, just they ruin how this story should have ended. But yeah, Sleep would be the greatest album closer of all time, in my opinion. And then the album just kind of keeps going. The song's a 10. This realistically could have made it into my top 10 songs of all time. It's damn close. It would like probably be number 11. Maybe I would even switch out Cross-Eyed and Painless for it. It's like that close. It's that close. Song chokes me up, dude. Every time. Every single time. Take a drink at the ocean and treading water there before I don't know if it's my absolute favorite of all time, but I'm going to say Mountains by Biffy Clyro. I've loved this song for a very long time. The verse riff is great. The chorus is incredibly catchy. The addition of the piano works wonderfully. And despite being essentially a radio rock song, it's got some unusual elements, particularly the 15-16 time in the verses. Interesting. Biffy Clyro is not a name I expected to see here, but yeah, I'm open to hearing a song from them, especially considering Biffy Clyro is an artist I'm not the most familiar with at all. Thought my teeth would break the mind dead. Scottish moment, ladies and gentlemen. I took a ride, I wouldn't go there without you. I am a mountain, you can't take that away from me. There's an end to my horizon. Yikes is the one word I can use to describe this. Yikes. I will say, the time signature stuff is quite interesting. It gives it a nice feeling of, like, unfinishedness. That's not a word, but we're going to pretend it is. It gives it a nice unfinished quality that I think genuinely does make the track more interesting and more intriguing and makes me want to dig deeper into what exactly it means by having these bars be as unfinished as they are. But these lyrics, this vocal performance, and the absolute commitment, to so many of these cliches that you get with this style of 2010s alt rock is just like, it's well produced. These guitar tones are great, but like incredibly by the books. Nah, this doesn't work for me, I'm afraid. I can see it if you're a fan of this style of like pop tinged late 2000s, early 2010s alt rock. I can definitely see this working for someone. I do think the time signature switching is pretty intriguing. Does add a layer of mystery that makes me want to dig deeper into this song. And the production is solid as hell. Great guitar tones. I think that the recording of this track on the whole does make it sound legitimately quite epic at points. But it sticks too hard to being incredibly formulaic outside of that. It plays very, very heavily into cliches and the most by-the-book structuring possible. And on the whole, I think that the performances on this track especially the vocals, lack any of that sense of wonder that I feel like this song needs to really pop and shine. I would give this a high 4. High 4. It's not terrible. I wouldn't even go as far as to say it's necessarily bad, but I will say that all of these elements coming together in a way that I feel like wastes the incredible production does lead it to be in the mixed negative territory for me. It's not terrible, though, and I honestly can kind of see it. I understand the admiration for this track, and I wouldn't say that it's like a bad pick by any means. None of these are bad picks. They're your favorite songs. Okay, I can't sit here and say that any of them are bad picks. Just giving my opinion on your favorite songs. Famous Prophets, Stars by Seat Headrest, really connected with me earlier this year for multiple reasons, and it's just grown on me more and more to the point where I can confidently say it's my favorite song of all time. The lyrics are absolutely heartbreaking and beautifully written. The lyrics are especially incredible around the 6-minute mark, where I'm always at a loss for words when it comes to that part. For being 16 minutes, I also find this song to flow by really quickly due to it never really getting boring at all. Not only is it my favorite song of all time, but also the best song I've ever heard. Absolutely crafted to perfection. They might be famous, but are the prophets lost? That's a bar right there. Someone needs to work that into a song immediately. I have, of course, heard this album. It's an incredible album. Great album. Solid album. Actually, Beach Life in Death was a pick that someone actually sent in for the last time I did the Discord's favorite song of all time. Someone chose Beach Life in Death. So it's interesting to get a different track off of this album this time around.
And arms and legs and etc.
It's the part. It's everyone's favorite part. This has no soul. Can we get a permaban on Chivo, please? Okay. Look, you can listen to the rest of this song in your own time. Listen to this whole ass album, ladies and gentlemen. This is some of the best shit ever right here. Twin Fantasy. This is such an incredible album to get lost in how great the storytelling is, how beautiful the portrayal of things like heartbreak and accepting different versions of yourself as time progresses, the absolutely just crushing display of how bitter the album turns over the course of its runtime, going from a song about finding love and being going from tracks about finding love, being excited about discovering your sexuality, and then turning into these tracks that are just so deeply rooted in heartbreak and just some of the most devastating lyricism from Will Toledo you can find on any indie rock album. Yeah, this song is fucking amazing. It's not my personal favorite on this album. It's the generic pick, but I'd say it would probably go to Beach Life in Death for me. But yeah, this song is still fantastic regardless, and I can't, knock you for saying this one's your favorite at all. Peak shit, you need to check the album. Absolutely. This is a must here, especially for indie rock, 2010s indie rock in particular, but just indie rock on the whole. This album is fucking fantastic. Phenomenal. Incredible shit.
Nice.
Beach Life in Death by Seat Headrest. This song is over 10 minutes, yet flies by memorable line after memorable line, hook after hook. Genuinely a perfect song that blew my mind when I first heard it and still never disappoints me every time I return for the ride. Yeah, this song's incredible. My personal favorite off of this album. I completely agree with this. It would probably land somewhere within my top 50 songs of all time. Just an amazing 10 out of 10 indie rock track. Fucking incredible, stunning shit. Not going to play it here simply because we just had a Seat Headrest track. But yeah, this song's fucking amazing.
There's a boat on the reef with a broken back.
Madman Across the Water by Elton John of the same titled album. Beautiful progression with a cool string arrangement, the guitar riff with the harmonics in the beginning, and the middle of the song is beautiful, and it builds up very well to the line, another glimpse of the madman across the water. I wouldn't expect anyone to actually pick an Elton John track for the best of all time, but I'm open to hearing an Elton John track.
If it's so, would I still be here today? Get a load of him, he's so insane.
I like how sloppy and open this instrumental is. What chords is he using? I've got no fucking idea. You know I have no idea. 1971, damn. Production's here fucking insane for 1971. Hang on. This sounds like... The production here sounds more like 80s quality to me, like late 70s, early 80s. This sounds like kind of crazy for 1971, right? Like, I'm not alone in thinking that. This sounds fucking amazing. The art cover is given, now that's what I call music. Yeah. Yeah, the album cover's fucking terrible.
We can my mom and I take it. Now the glance of the madman across the water.
Actually, a really solid Elton John track. Like, I wasn't head over heels fucking blown away by this song or anything like that. But this was legitimately just a fun, catchy, goofy piece of piano rock with some nice kind of psychedelic elements, some fantastic guitar tones, a great performance from Elton John, and an interesting progression that actually left me intrigued, kept me guessing all the way throughout. I think that Elton John does a great job on this track of just keeping the listener engaged and incredibly intrigued. It's not like the most mind-blowing thing on the planet, but I don't know. As someone who isn't the biggest Elton John guy, I definitely fucked with this track more than I expected. I'd give this like a solid to high 8. Good shit. Solid Elton John track. It was a matter of time until we saw some Joy Division stuff. Decades.
We saw ourselves now as we never had seen.
The song is fucking crushing. Especially considering the fact that, like, you have a whole album's worth of music before this.
Open then shut, then slammed in our face.
Eerie close to this band's discography, easy 10. Yeah, this is like a high 9 to a 10, but probably a 10 for me. This song is fucking haunting. Genuinely, I've said that about a handful of songs on the album up to on this stream up to this point, but this song is the most like fitting that I'd say that description is. You get an entire album of this guy just being beaten down, of this guy just being tortured by life, and then you get to this final track, and it is just him at his wit's end, leaving us on a moment that literally feels like him, like, taking the step off the edge of the building that we've been, like, shifting our way back and forwards towards throughout the entirety of the album. This song is, like, hearing it just on its own, it's already like, damn, this is just such an eerie, such a truly brutal, depressing track. And then when you like have the context of the rest of the album to back it up, it's like, holy shit, this is like the saddest song I've ever heard in my life. I legitimately cannot believe that, like, a song this sad is able to still be as, like, surprisingly catchy as this, that is able to be as just like colorful as it is instrumentally, how dense it is production-wise as well. This is a truly mind-blowing song, like one of those songs that just feels like such a statement, that feels like such an important track in terms of, like, music that is as sad as this is. I would not feel comfortable giving this any less than, like, a high 9 or a 10, and I would say probably a 10. Amazing pick. Just one of the most devastating songs ever made, one of the best album closers I've ever heard. Incredible shit. Absolutely magnificent. Great pick. This is one of the more interesting picks that we've gotten. XTC Mermaid Smiled. This song is a fleeting dream, a memory of something that inspired you long ago that has ephemerally... Ephemeral is a word that you do not see very often. Ephemerally returned in full force somehow. It's grasping and recording something you'll never hold on to because you could never understand it completely. This song might not have the mind-boggling scale of Myth, but it has the right tone combined with the self-referential allegory that I love from Andy. It's his most positive song, arguably, and certainly his most nostalgic. I would say, when my friends and I started listening to XTC, I remember starting with English Settlement, loving it, then being blown away by Skylarking until I fell in love with the band upon finding this song. Okay. I fuck with this. I fuck with the XTC pick. I of course, we've gone through the XTC discography recently on stream, finished that not too long ago. And I grew to really love this band. I think they have one of the most fun discographies that we've gone through on stream. It was like a fun, like, mini stream exclusive series that we got to do. And Mermaid Smile is a song that I've not really returned to all too much. It's off of Skylarking, so This is going to be a fairly fresh listen. I've been meaning to come back to the XTC discography and run through it for like a tier list video at some point. So let's run this. Mermaid Smile. Oh. Okay, I remember that. Wow.
I saw the children at heart, as old as all the sands.
Oh.
Summoned by drum rolling surf. Home to child sings
That's like the easiest fucking 10 ever. Oh my god. That ethereal, glitzy production took me away to another world. Holy shit. I don't remember the songs on Skylarking going this hard. Oh my god, that's like the best shit ever. I remembered the intro, but the rest of the song was kind of a blur to me. This song is so effective at getting across that feeling of nostalgia, that feeling of longing for a time before, that rose-tinted glasses perspective on these events, and just a bunch of like scattered imagery of all of these memories coming through, all into one colorful block of just a specific time period that is so, again, colorful and glitzy and glamorous in its production, the way it works in all of this crazy percussion, those beautiful chimes all the way throughout this song, the acoustics being as rich and lush as they are throughout this track, and also the vocals on this song just having such a sense of carelessness, of whimsy, of longing for that time as well. Just that little hint of sadness that comes through, wishing he could revisit what the magic that he was feeling around this time of his life. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Oh my god. Larks Tongue in Aspic Part 2 by King Crimson. This song feels like a magical ritual, even though it sounds chaotic. It's exciting and keeps you wanting to hear what comes next. The instrumental seems to clash and communicate. Wild drums, a heavy haunting bass, Fripp's sharp and chilling guitar, and a violin that sometimes feels overwhelmed. There's no clear story, but the tension between the instruments creates a powerful feeling, like a chaotic musical battle that somehow fits together. Okay. Some King Crimson is quite valid. Quite valid indeed. Glad to see him in the comments here. Deserving. Actually, pretty great build there. I've not been absolutely in love with this song so far, but that build was pretty fantastic. Damn, almost like metal sounding bass tone there. Wow. That was some actually pretty solid prog. I'm not going to play the whole track here, but yeah, this fucking slapped. It was some solid ass prog rock, some great like metal sounding bass tones. I think the progression of this track and that build particularly towards the second third there sounded absolutely fucking amazing. The production here is solid as well. Maybe not as strong and as colorful and as textured as like Court of the Crimson King or Red, but I still do think this sounds pretty great. And it's nice to see them taking a more straight rock direction as opposed to the jazz fusion I'm used to with King Crimson. Good shit. Here's an interesting one. Present Tense by Radiohead. It's very hard to choose just one song at the moment. Lots of amazing songs cross my mind, but at the moment I would choose Present Tense because it's the one I have the most. It's the one I have on the most in the meantime, and it's just a beautiful song, the best of a Moonshaped Pool in my opinion. That is not a Radiohead pick you would expect to see. Firstly, that's the only Radiohead pick we've had, besides someone saying all of Kid A, of course. That's the only Radiohead pick we've had in this entire thing, which is shocking. No How to Disappear Completely, no Paranoid Android, nothing. The only Radiohead pick, and it's Present Tense of all songs, which Present Tense is one of my favorites on a Moonshaped Pool, but it's interesting to see this as the pick for the favorite Radiohead track. I will actually play a little bit of this one because I'm never going to say no to listening to this song. I've always found that guitar melody so fascinating. It's a very like poppy melody, especially when it resolves here. It feels like it could fit in on a pop song, especially with these very tom-heavy drums. This track kind of almost has like a bossa nova spin to it. Everything about this song, within the first minute, feels like even in the production, it reminds me a lot of a pop song. And it's so interesting to see Radiohead do that in the opening moments of a song, especially, you know, on an album that has been full of incredibly dour, incredibly depressing and moody pieces. To get something that is as bright and colorful as Present Tense, especially this late into the game on the album, is really like random and such a strange way to kick off this track, but always has been one of the most endearing aspects of this track to me.
Self-defense. No one get heavy. Keep it moving. I'll be dancing in your arms.
Yeah, Present Tense is an incredible track. Not my personal favorite off of A Moon-Shaped Pool. It would probably be top 5, maybe top 3. Full Stop is my favorite on this album. Full Stop is a fucking incredible track that moves me damn near to tears every time I listen to it. But Present Tense is such a comforting and truly, truly desperate meditation in that feeling of what it's like to lose such an important figure in your life. You know, it kind of starts with the begging for this person to stay, saying like, you know, I'm doing no harm. You know, keep it light, keep it moving. I'm doing no harm. Like that desperation for this person to stay, only for the reveal that his entire world is crashing down at their leaving, and just admitting that he's lost in this person still after the time that they've been gone for, after the time that he has been left to his own devices. It's heartbreaking, as is every song on this album. Every single track on this thing, besides maybe Burn the Witch, which is more politically based, every single song on this thing is just like, ouch. That fucking stings, especially Full Stop and True Love Waits. Identikit is fucking rough as well. This is just truly one of the saddest albums you can listen to. 10 out of 10 song on a damn near 10 out of 10 album for me. My 4th favorite Radiohead album, and yeah, this one would probably make it within my top 30 Radiohead songs as well. Good shit. Solid pick as well. Like an out of left field pick for Radiohead. Typically, on A Moon-Shaped Pool, someone would go with like Daydreaming, Full Stop, Burn the Witch. For Radiohead in general, you'd expect like a Paranoid Android or How to Disappear Completely or Idiotech. So I definitely respect the more out there pick with Present Tense. Good shit. Incredible track. Was wondering when these guys were going to show up. The End of Forgetting by Swans. This is one of 3 new songs they performed for their final big sound tour, the others being Newly Sentient Being and Little Mind, though Little Mind was removed from the set list for the later shows, which allowed other songs to evolve even further. Of the 2 I heard at the show, The End of Forgetting was the one that had the biggest impact on me, to the point where I cried during it. The journey this song goes on is incredible, feels like a continuation of the sound that was present on Birthing with some more aspects from the trilogy, and was an unforgettable experience watching them play this song live. Well, how am I going to find this song? It's going to have to be on YouTube, isn't it? We're going to listen to a little bit of this, because I've not even heard this. This is a first listen for me in terms of Swans, so... Ooh! That ramp up. Man, I wish I could hear a full mixed version of this. It sounds like she'll go wild. It does sound a bit like Apostate, yeah. Like with the snares sounding like gunshots, absolutely it sounds a bit like Apostate. Nothing happens. Did you not hear the way that rose? The way we reached the peak of this build there? I say the peak of the build, but it's still building. 8 minutes of nothing, 10 out of 10. That was not nothing. Jesus, you people don't understand the genius of Swans. You don't understand the genius of post-rock music. That's like a low 9. As a taster of this song, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like more of the tensity that was present on Birthing. Obviously, I'm not able to feel the full scope of that because it's not a mixed version, and I have to wait until the live album to hear a mixed version of it. And I can't wait for that, because that sounds like that shit would go absolutely insane. That was... delightful. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the the viewers' favorite songs of all time. I'm not going to say the greatest songs of all time. That was my viewers' picks for their favorite songs of all time. I did not get to play all of the over 100 picks in total that we got commented here, like 108 comments. Some of these are going to be replies, but like roughly on the dot 100 replies probably. Now, obviously, you can go into the comments and find recommendations here. Hopefully, you check out some of the songs in this video if you hadn't heard them. Like I certainly found a handful of tracks in here that I hadn't heard before that I thought sounded absolutely fucking incredible here. A handful of these already have reactions that you can find on my channel, like The Doors and Pet Sounds and the Radiohead and shit like that you can go and watch. Yeah, thank you to everyone who submitted a pick here. Thank you to everyone who was here for this immense 4-hour journey. No bonus song. Thank you again to Space Ashes for editing both this as well as part 1. I greatly appreciate it. A link to their channel will be in the description. Definitely go subscribe to them if you haven't. And yeah, I will see you all later. Bye-bye.